Good afternoon, everyone. It's an absolute honor to be with you today and share some of my experiences. Let me start with a simple but powerful statement. What if I tell you that biggest changes in life do not happen due to giant leaps, but small, tiny actions and steps that we take every day? I call it small things make big difference. Today you may agree or may not, but I do. Often we wait for grand opportunities, life-changing moments. But the truth is, our lives are shaped by seemingly insignificant choices and decisions that we make on a daily basis. Today, I want to take you through a journey, my journey, where small things made all the difference. I was born and raised in a small village where opportunities were scarce, but dreams were abundant. My father, despite having limited means, made sure that I get best education possible. Those days, very few students went to school with footwear. I was amongst the fortunate ones. My journey with public speaking started unexpectedly. I was in class 6th. My school was selecting speakers for Independence Day celebrations. Several seniors tried but struggled. One of the teachers looked at me and said, "Why don't you try?" I hesitated but agreed. That single moment changed my life. From that day onwards, I started reciting poems, giving speeches for next 5 years until I graduated from that school, that is 10th secondary examination. Did I know the meaning of those poems or speeches? No. But I continued doing that, and those small acts built confidence in me that I carry today. So the lesson I learned was, somebody else can see potential in you before you can see it yourself. And if that happens, embrace it, welcome it. So that was the beginning of public speaking for me. Now, having completed 10th from village school, I moved to the nearby town where I completed 11th and 12th. 12th with 11th position in the state board. Now I came to the district headquarters, city known as Udaipur. I'm sure all of you know it. Bought the application form, which came with a booklet of about 150 pages. I read each and every word the same day, and I was stuck at one page. It was in the booklet as well as in the application form. It asked me to choose whether I wanted to apply for BCom honors or BCom pass course. There was no Google those days. I inquired through friends and seniors, and the only information I could gather was that the BCom honors is more challenging, tougher than the other one, and the syllabus, the content coverage was about 1.5 times of the pass course. So obviously I chose the challenging path, I applied for BCom honors. In 2-3 weeks time, I realized that I have made a mistake. Because the professors lectured in English. Most of the friends from convent schools were fluent. The books that were available did not cover that additional content that was meant for the BCom honors part. So I was at the verge of quitting. I went from office to office requesting that, can you transfer me to another stream? Everyone said no. One day, accompanied by one of student leaders, I went to the dean's office, requested him to transfer me from honors to pass course. He rejected my request, but made a profound statement. And the statement was, the train has departed. You bought a ticket for a different destination. I can't change it now. You can give it a try. I decided to put forward because I had no other choice. In 3 years' time, friends, I graduated with flying colors, with a gold medal in the hand. So the lesson that I learned was, challenges are scary, but sometimes the hardest path leads to greatest destinations. So don't be afraid of challenges. That is the lesson I learned that day when I had a gold medal in my hand. If you want, you may adapt or like this lesson. Now from there, I moved to the next step, that is Masters of Accounting. And that's when I realized that I should be working sooner than later so that I can help myself and the family. So it was a time to choose career. Of course, before that, like other speakers have said, I have also dreamt of, various career options, starting from being a shopkeeper to an administrator and whatnot. But this is when I'm in the first year of my Masters of Accounting. One of our teachers often used to motivate us so that we choose teaching as a career. And he used to say that, appear for national eligibility test for lectureship that was recently introduced by UGC those days. He used to say, this is one of the toughest competitions that we have in the country. The syllabus is wider than that of civil services. When you start your career as a lecturer, your salary is slightly higher than that of an IAS. This was enough challenging for me, and I accepted the challenge and appeared for NET exam, cleared it in first attempt. NET certificate in this hand, BCom and MCom with gold medals in this hand. I jumped into the field of work. I thought I'm the most competent person. I was not. I thought I'll get a job immediately. I didn't. First of my few interviews were disaster. I came to Ahmedabad. I went to Indore, went to Delhi, an interview at UPSC. I was rejected everywhere. You know the reason? Language. I knew the subject, but I couldn't articulate my thoughts. I couldn't make meaningful sentences in English. So despite having those glittering documents with me, I was a failure to say, or I was rejected. So rather than being sorry for myself, what I did was I acknowledged my weakness, started working on it, and addressed it within a year or so. So that was my next lesson, that weaknesses don't define us, ignoring them does. So don't ignore your weaknesses, acknowledge them, and the moment you identify them, start addressing them. So that was my next lesson that I want to share with you today. So I got a job in a year's time as a lecturer at one of prestigious colleges in Udaipur. But in no time, I realized that it was not as satisfying or rewarding as I expected it to be. So I kept searching for other options. And that's when I saw an advert for a teaching position in Ethiopia. I applied for it, got interviewed in Delhi, got selected, ready to fly down to Africa. Now, friends, relatives, some of the even teachers warned me, don't go there, citing, the cases of unrest, diseases, unknowns, cultural differences, this and that. They said, no, don't take risk. But deep down, I knew that I needed an opportunity, and I said yes, and I went to Ethiopia in 2003. Well, I enjoyed working there. Some of the students used to accompany me after classes. They used to keep asking questions in the corridor. Some would be, active learners, ask questions. Others would just accompany, be passive learners, listen carefully. And as a result, I used to miss my bus often going home. But the students were very nice, humble. What they used to do, they'll walk with me until my residence, which was about 15 minutes walk from the college, carrying my bag and books, etc. So that was a reward. Now, the most important lesson that I want to share from there is, one day, one of the quiet backbenchers came forward. I can still see him walking towards me. Even today, I can see him walking, from behind to the front. He said, Dr. Udai, you do more for us than our own people. That statement was the biggest reward for me, and that remains with me till today. Because for me, going that an extra mile, or giving someone some additional time or extra care, was a lot for the person, for my students, and they appreciated it. That was the biggest achievement for me. The lesson that is there for all of us from this incident is that sometimes opportunities lie beyond our comfort zones. So don't be afraid again. Accept the unknown or the challenging one. Now, having worked there for a few years, I moved to Namibia, joined the Department of Accounting there. When I joined the department, we were 10. In a year's time, we reduced to 8. And that was the time when the university leadership term was over. That means it was time to have new leaders in place. So I was chosen to be head of the department. I got the letter. I was surprised. I consulted 2 friends, one Indian, one Nepali. Sought their opinion. Both advised, no, this is a strange place, means new place for you. You are here for only a year or so. You don't know anything. Don't go for it. So I put the letter in my drawer, kept quiet for 2 weeks or so. It's only mid of December, when university was about to close for summer break. I got a call from HR director's office. Come to office. I went there. He said, we have sent you an appointment letter. We haven't heard anything from you. I said, yes, I'm not interested. Then he tried to convince. I didn't agree. He took me to PVC's office. He again said the same things and said that, no, we want you to take over this responsibility and we hope that you will do something good. I said, no, sir, I'm new to the place. I do not know outside stakeholders. Of course, I was good in teaching, so my students were very happy. But it's a university job does not mean teaching only. So not knowing outside stakeholders, the environment well, I requested that I may be excused. But I was given an order, you have to accept it. I did that. In 4 years' time, when I completed my term, we were again from 8 to 15. The 7 new appointees, one was from neighboring African country, one was from United States, 5 were Namibians, 2 chartered accountants, 3 of our own students. So that was local capacity building. My contribution in teaching, research, administration was appreciated well when I was selected for the best faculty award from amongst 500 plus faculty members. One of the students, and now our colleague, Lucas Nakwinda, he announced that I will name my firstborn Udai Jr. And later on he did that. 3-4 years down the line, when I have already moved out of that country, he did that. So that was my biggest reward again. The knowledge that I shared made an impact on someone's life and returned back to me in terms of priceless recognition. So the lesson that I want to share with you is keep contributing, keep sharing, keep helping by going an extra mile wherever possible. Now, when I look back, I realize that everything I achieved was not due to any big moment. Rather, it was the accumulation of seemingly insignificant, small, tiny actions, steps, or efforts. Be it the confidence or belief of that teacher in me who asked me to recite poems when I didn't even know meaning of those poems. Be it the teacher who advised me to continue with BCom honors. Be it my strength or courage to accept the unknown and go to Ethiopia, or be it my going an extra mile and my interaction with the students like Theodore or Lucas and likes. These are all small acts of going an extra mile, trying to add value to the lives of those who we work with, and that's how I could serve my purpose and be appreciated at the same time. So this convinces me to say it profoundly that it is small things that make big difference. So I am totally convinced. Now it is up to you. And let me conclude by asking a question. What small step, what action will you take today that may change your life or someone else forever? Thank you very much.